know, the human spirit is capable of incredible things. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly believed that? When was the last time you woke up with a fire in your soul, certain that today was the day you take that step toward the life you've always wanted? For so many of us, we get caught in a cycle of routines, doubts, and excuses that keeps us from becoming everything we're meant to be. But here's the truth. Every single one of us has the potential for greatness. Yes, even you. Even if you've failed before, even if life hasn't been kind to you, even if you don't feel ready, because you don't need to be perfect to start. You don't need all the answers right now. All you need is the courage to begin. Think about it. Every journey, no matter how big or small, starts with a single step, one step. And yet so many people never take it. Why? Because they're waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right circumstances. But let me tell you something. The right time doesn't exist. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. So, let's stop waiting. Let's stop doubting. Let's stop making excuses. Today is the day we break the cycle. Today is the day we take back control of our lives. Because here's the thing. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to start. For the next 21 days, I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to push past your comfort zone. I want you to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Because here's the secret. The life you want isn't something you find, it's something you create. And creation takes action. Let's be honest. Change isn't easy. If it were, everyone would do it. But that's what makes this challenge so powerful. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to push you, stretch you, and force you to grow. Because growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when we face our fears, confront our doubts, and choose to move forward anyway. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What if I fail? Let me stop you right there. Failure isn't the enemy. Fear of failure is. Failure is how we learn, is how we grow, is how we become better. So don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of staying the same. 21 days, I want you to wake up every morning with a purpose. Set your intention. Decide what you're going to accomplish and don't let anything stop you. Maybe it's a small step like waking up earlier or spending 10 minutes meditating. Maybe it's something bigger like starting that project you've been putting off or reaching out for an opportunity that scares you. Whatever it is, commit to it, write it down. Make it real. Because here's what happens when you commit. You build momentum. And momentum is the key to lasting change. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something every day. One step, one choice, one action. That's how transformation happens. Let me share something with you. Most people give up on their dreams, not because they're impossible, but because they get overwhelmed. They focus on how far they have to go instead of how far they've already come. Don't make that mistake. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, because every step forward, no matter how tiny, is a step closer to the life you want. And let me tell you this, you are stronger than you think. You've survived things you thought would break you. You've overcome challenges that seemed insurmountable. You've made it this far. And that's proof that you're capable of so much more. So for the next 21 days, I want you to prove it to yourself. Show yourself what you're made of. When it gets hard, and it will get hard, remember why you started. Remember the life you're working toward. Remember that every struggle, every sacrifice, every moment of discomfort is worth it. Because on the other side of that discomfort is freedom. Freedom to live life on your terms. Freedom to wake up every day with purpose and passion. Freedom to be everything you were meant to be. And don't do this alone. Share your journey. Inspire others. Because when we lift each other up, we all rise. Imagine what the world would look like if we all decided to stop settling, stop doubting, and start living. Imagine the ripple effect of one person choosing to chase their dreams. Now imagine if that person was you. Every significant change in life begins with a decision. Think about it. Every great achievement, every major transformation, every story of triumph you've ever heard started with someone deciding that enough was enough. They decided they weren't going to stay stuck, that they weren't going to settle for less than they deserved, and that they would take action no matter how uncertain or difficult the path seemed. That's the power of a decision. It's not just an idea or a wish, it's a commitment to move forward even when you don't feel completely ready. But why is making this decision so important? Is because it creates a clear starting point. Without it, you're simply drifting, hoping that someday, somehow, things will change on their own. And here's the hard truth. Nothing changes until you decide to change. Life doesn't hand out success or transformation to those who are merely interested. It rewards those who are committed. It rewards those who say, "This is my time, and I'm going to make the most of it." Deciding is also about taking back control of your life. Too often, we let circumstances, excuses, or the opinions of others dictate our actions. We tell ourselves, we'll start when things calm down, when we have more time, or when the situation is perfect. But the reality is, there's no such thing as the perfect time. Waiting for it is just another way of staying stuck. What you need isn't a perfect moment, it's courage. Courage to start where you are with what you have and trust that you'll figure the rest out along the way. So, what does this decision look like? It's not vague or uncertain. It's specific, intentional, and backed by action. To make your decision real, take a few minutes right now to clarify what you're committing to. Write it down. Don't just think about it. Put it into words. For example, I commit to waking up an hour earlier to work on my personal goals because my dreams deserve my focus. I choose to replace negative self-talk with affirmations because I'm tired of letting doubt control my life. By putting your decision into writing, you're creating a tangible reminder of your commitment. This act is simple, but it's powerful. It shifts your goal from an idea floating in your mind to something real, something you've declared. Making this decision is also about declaring your why. Why does this matter to you? What's at stake if you don't follow through? Connecting with your deeper motivation is what will keep you going when the initial excitement fades. Maybe you want to improve your health because you want to be there for your family. Maybe you want financial freedom so you can live without stress and support others. Whatever your reason, hold it close. It's your fuel. Once you've made this decision, there's no turning back. You're no longer waiting for permission or external circumstances to align. You're taking ownership of your future. And that's what makes this moment so powerful. It's not the end, it's the beginning of a journey that has the potential to change your life forever. The question is, are you ready to decide? Because if you are, the first step toward transformation is already behind you. The rest is about showing up every single day. Small, consistent actions are the foundation of transformation. Often, people think change growth requires a massive, dramatic leap. But the truth is that it's the small steps taken daily that create lasting results. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't see the fruit right away, but with consistent care, watering it, giving it sunlight, it grows into something strong and fruitful. That's how momentum works. So each small action builds on the last until it becomes a force that carries you forward. Momentum starts with simplicity. If you try to overhaul your entire life in one day, you'll quickly feel overwhelmed and discouraged. But if you focus on one small, manageable step at a time, you create a sense of accomplishment that motivates you to keep going. This is why the 21-day challenge isn't about perfection or doing everything all at once. It's about taking one meaningful step every day, no matter how small it may seem. Set. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, your first step might be drinking an extra glass of water each day. The next step might be adding a 10-minute walk to your routine. If your goal is personal growth, your first step could be reading a single page of a self-help book or writing down one thing you're grateful for. These actions might feel insignificant in the moment, but over time, they compound into something powerful. The beauty of small steps is that they are achievable no matter where you're starting from. You don't need to have all the answers or resources right now. You just need to begin. And each step you take creates a ripple effect. The confidence you build from completing one action gives you the courage to take the next and the next. Before you know it, you've created a habit, and habits are the building blocks of a transformed life. Momentum also helps you overcome resistance. When you're faced with a big challenge or goal, it's easy to feel paralyzed by fear or uncertainty. But when you break it down into smaller actions, you remove the barriers to starting. Instead of thinking about the entire staircase, you focus on the next step. This keeps you moving forward, even when the path ahead feels daunting. Another critical aspect of building momentum is consistency. It's not about doing something perfectly, it's about doing it regularly. Even if you don't feel like it, even if the results aren't immediately visible, showing up every day reinforces the habit. Over time, this consistency transforms your actions into second nature, making it easier to stay on track. To build momentum, start by identifying one small, actionable step you can take today. It doesn't need to be grand or complicated. It just needs to be something you can commit to. Write it down and do it. Celebrate the fact that you've taken a step, no matter how small it may seem. Then tomorrow, take another step, and the day after that, another. Each day you'll find yourself closer to your goal, with a growing sense of confidence and capability. Remember, momentum doesn't come from thinking about change, it comes from taking action. It's the daily effort, the small wins, and the consistent progress that create extraordinary results. So don't underestimate the power of a single step. It might be small, but it's the start of something life-changing. Growth happens when we step outside of our comfort zones. It's easy to stay where things feel safe, where everything is predictable and known. But the truth is, nothing extraordinary ever comes from staying in that comfortable space. Real transformation occurs when we challenge ourselves, when we push beyond the limits we've set for ourselves, and when we do the things that scare us. It's in those moments of discomfort that we experience the most growth. Discomfort is often seen as something to avoid, but in reality, it's a necessary part of the journey towards success. Think about the things you've achieved in your life. Chances are, many of those achievements required you to take risks, face your fears, or do something you weren't entirely comfortable with. Whether it was starting a new job, giving a presentation, or even just having a difficult conversation, those moments of discomfort were the very moments that helped you grow. The same principle applies to any challenge you decide to take on. When you step outside your comfort zone, you're pushing yourself to expand your limits. You're no longer letting fear dictate your actions. Instead, you're deciding to grow, to evolve, and to face challenges head on, knowing that on the other side of discomfort is a better version of yourself. This doesn't mean that you should go after extreme challenges all at once. Growth doesn't need to be a giant leap. It can be a series of smaller, manageable steps that gradually stretch your boundaries.